Hello. I can't hear you, Lee.
I got my mic.
There.
That was great. Okay. Great start. Great start.
Smooth operator there, mate. Smooth operator.
You try and do everything. Anyway.
Hello, mate. You all right?
How you going, man?
It's going good.
As I was going to say to everyone joining in, we're going to be talking about the Jonathan Majors court date. We're going to be talking about Kraven the Hunter. We're going to be talking about the One Piece. And first of all, I've got one half of the most outstanding Marvel podcast out there at the moment. I've got Forrest from Don't Be a Hero podcast.
Oh, stop it, Lee. Stop it. You charmer.
Oh, dude, you're killing it. As we were talking about before this episode started live and technical difficulties. But
mate. And also, sorry, Lee, I've had the arrival that we've been waiting for. So me and Lee have been waiting for ages for me to get a coffee, and it's arrived.
Oh, that looks good. That's an iced coffee too. So I'm right there with you.
Oh, it is absolutely gorgeous, Lee, mate.
Cheers to that, good sir. I've got
cheers to that.
I got Jameson at the moment. Jameson and Coke.
Jameson and Coke. Look at you. You see, you can tell the time difference just by that conversation.
I know. Well, then again, probably 9 o'clock is probably the earliest I've ever started drinking.
Yeah. Well, just standard day, or are we talking like a birthday, Christmas?
Christmas is probably early. I'm like, okay, breakfast, start drinking. I'm not driving.
Yeah, 100%. Christmas Day, straight on the drinks. Yeah. I have done that 5 times. I've never done that before in my life. But for the first 20 minutes of us talking, I keep doing that every sentence, and it's winding me up. I'm banning myself.
Just gotta stop my hand. All right, but well, before we fully get in, you guys know what comes up first.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
So, man, we were talking about it before we went live, but you guys have entered phase 4 of your movie reviews. You've started your Patreon. You do have merch on the way. And yeah, you guys are just killing it and coming like fantastic. Honestly.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. So we just passed a year old. So I think 18th of May was our year anniversary.
Holy
believe
shit.
It or not. And Peggy's come to celebrate as well. There you go. There's a cat. She's featured. It's like a whole family affair. There you go, mate.
Anyone's happy to make the appearance. Oh, thank you, Mr. Mark My Words. #1 podcast of this generation. Bless.
Oh, loving that. Like you see, look at this. Hey, we don't have this live stuff going on. I haven't got all this, these fancy tricks. It's amazing work, mate.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Hashtag StreamYard.
Loving it. Loving your fine work.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, you guys, I can't believe you guys passed your 1-year anniversary. That's just flown by.
Oh, absolutely. Like we were, we started off Iron Man, so we're not trying to get through every Marvel film and TV series chronologically. So we started with Iron Man 2008, right at the start, and we're already at Shang-Chi. So we're already at the end of 2021 or towards the end of 2021 when Shang-Chi came out, and we're just about to battle the Eternals. So
I can't wait for you to do Eternals.
Yeah, I would. If you're listening to this and the first time you want to listen to our podcast comes afterwards, please listen to any other pod but the Eternals before you listen to us, because both me and Matt are not fans.
Well, the saving grace is actually, I was speaking to a couple of friends the other night, and I thought, look, compared to The Flash, the Eternals does one thing right, and they do represent a speedster. the way you would think they would actually like go fast compared to what we've seen so far.
Yes. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
That's the only saving grace.
And to be fair, Lee, that's a very small saving grace, isn't it? You are stretching that.
Yeah. I know if Mr. Mark My Words right now is listening in, he'd be like, "It's a good film." He loves it. He thinks
really?
it's a solid film, and we have this argument all the time.
Wow. But see, I've got to go back. So what we do, we go back and watch them before we obviously do a podcast. So this week, I've now got to go and watch Eternals. So who knows, Lee? I could be its biggest fan by next weekend.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I highly doubt it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
That's true. I think you guys are entering the most content phase. Like there is so much. Like this is going to take. Well, it's probably take you guys the longest to get through. Because I also like just trying to go through all the TV shows and all the movies all the way to the end.
It's insane. Like, and we do a highlights episode at the end of each phase as well. So obviously the highlights of phase 1, 2, 3, were quite small highlights episodes. This one's going to have to be about 10 hours long just to discuss every ounce of the phase.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just record for 8 hours and split that into 3 episodes, and you guys are good for 3 weeks.
I mean, this is truly. Okay, we could have a whole month of no recording needed. We've got our content.
Yeah, exactly right.
It was sick.
But no, it's for anyone listening, watching. You guys need to subscribe to their podcast, their Patreon, everything. These guys are nailing it, and every week you guys step it up, and that's 100%.
Oh, cheers, man. Appreciate that. Those are lovely words, especially from an amazing podcaster like yourself, boy. Because you are absolutely you're kicking it. You're kicking it out the can, Lee. Honestly, it's outrageous.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's like as I said to you before, like it's can't believe up to episode 109. Like shit.
Mad. That is some going. That is. When did you start? Where was it? A couple of years.
June 2021, and I started with a $50 mic in my garage because I didn't want to record near my dog.
Oh, that is a podcast I've got to go back and listen to. I don't think I've ever listened to your first one.
Please don't. It's horrible. Like my intro and outro is me talking, going, Hi, you've welcome to the Lights Camera Rant podcast where we talk about news, reviews. I'm like, blah, blah.
I mean, to be fair, at least you had the same name on your first podcast. We had to change names because we stupidly named ourselves after a bunch of comics.
Oh, it was the Guardians of the Multiverse.
That was it. We would have got, despite the fact that Matt had watched, right, What If. So at that point, he'd watched What If. He registered that they called themselves the Guardians of the Multiverse. And we had a chat. We were out and about, and I came up with the idea because I'd never heard of them, obviously. So I was like, oh, well, they're about to do the multiverse. So, we could be the Guardians of the Multiverse. That'd be amazing. And then we stood with that for one episode, realized what we'd done, and had to reverse out of that.
Shit.
Massive infringement of copyright there.
Yeah. Marvel will be hunting you down.
Yeah, K-Dog would have been on the phone like, it's got to go. You've got to go. It's got to go down.
You're out. You're out. You know too much.
yeah. What are you? You're into it. Go out.
Yeah, get out. They know I'm a robot.
We've not caught up there yet. They're big secrets ahead. Stop.
Yeah. Cut it. But one of the best things, I will admit, I have a lot of podcasters. You guys still have one of the best podcast logos.
Oh, cheers,
so
like that.
Like one of my things is that because of how small it is, I'm like, if your podcast logo has to stand out amongst so much, and yours does.
Oh, cheers, mate. That is so. Michael Russian Michael's a good friend of mine, and he's an amazing graphic artist. And yeah, he's come up with all of these cool little logos and pictures that we use. But I think to be honest, it's one of the things that I was thinking about the other day actually is whether we go, because we've got the logo that you've got that we use as our logo, but actually we do have a text only logo, which probably would stand out more. But I'm too in love with this one to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Nah. You can't, that's the hard thing. Like, no, I don't want to get rid of it.
Exactly. It'd be mad, but yeah, you can just about make out the name, so it's all right.
Yeah. Be hero. Mm-hmm.
It's like a visit to the opticians. That's what that's what I'm doing for you.
ETH. I'm gonna get my license.
Yeah. If you can't see a thing, then I suggest an optician's visit for you. All right.
If you can't read this logo,
Don't Be a Hero podcast.
Yeah. Which once everything's worked out, as said, you are my next podcast to get merch. I've got Earth 894. I've got Star Wars Europe.
Oh, I can't wait, mate! I can't wait. And we gotta rejuvenate our merchandise after Matt purchased one from our store and didn't receive it for 5 weeks and then received a refund. So,
Bullshit.
Not a good start. Not a good start.
No, and I will make sure that I will wear it when we do the Deadpool 3 review.
I can't wait, mate. I can't wait. That's going to be a special day. Not just because of the t-shirt, but I am Deadpool 3. I can't wait for.
No. And it's been brought forward.
Yes. Exciting.
But speaking of news, Marvel. Before we get into our review of the first episode of Secret Invasion, Marvel is apparently skipping Comic-Con this year. How do you feel about that? Like, you're like, yes, we understand why, or like, no, that's bullshit.
I think actually I can totally understand why. They don't normally do that. They don't normally skip. And I think actually I completely get it. Likewise, I would rather that they're doing that, and because quite clearly we haven't had any announcement in regards to Jonathan Major. We haven't had anything, any glimpse of what the thought process is from Marvel about it all and whether it will affect any of it. And to be honest, I'm quite happy about that, because it kind of means two things. A, they're waiting, quite rightly, to hear about what comes out of that, which you'll go into in a minute in regards to the court date. But also, number two, it means that they're thinking about it as well. They're not just like, if they rushed out a plan, I'd be far more worried about the future of MCU. But if they're thinking about it, it means they're, there's thought process.
Well, I think the terrible thing is, yes, we don't fully know if the allegations are true or not. No, depending on the court case, could be. Like, before that court case, everyone was excited about him being in his own movie. Everyone was excited for Loki. He was the MVP of Ant-Man Quantumania. So there was so much hype. And he also broke the record for, I think, the most actor at the #1 box office for 6 or 7 consecutive weeks, because Ant-Man came out and then Creed 3.
Wow.
So it was like 8 weeks he was acting in #1 box office.
Yeah. It's it's sad to see, but hopefully, whichever way we get a resolution, Marvel will deal with it in the appropriate fashion. But yeah, I don't know about Loki. I feel like, because at the moment they haven't announced the delay for Loki. But
have they?
Have they delayed it officially now?
Actually, Mr. Mark My Words makes really good. All right, but Michael Jackson had allegations his music was still good. Well, yeah, there's still him make music.
The difference is, though, Michael Jackson's music came way before any true allegation. There were thoughts, and a lot of people had a lot of thoughts about Michael Jackson during his music, but actually it was after that the music was released. whereas this is in the middle of a film about to come
Franchise.
out for Cannes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's loads of stuff that he hasn't filmed either. So it would be wrong for him to be guilty and then Marvel go, well, fuck it. Come on, Jonathan. Let's film some footage. But plus the other actors around him, you're not going to have that, are you? If you're an actor trying to do a scene with someone that you know's guilty for certain allegations, you're not going to be doing the scene, are you? Doesn't look good on you.
We'll get into that a little bit later, won't we? Again, Mr. Mark My Words again on the YouTube. Is Kang ruined? Like, regardless of the allegations, take that all away. If he's proven not guilty, which good or bad if he does, will that be? I don't think that'll be a heavy thing going into his own movie. By the time we get Kang, it's going to be nearly 2 to 3 years since these allegations.
Mm. I mean, if he's proven innocent, he's proven innocent. Simple as that, right? If you're either innocent or you're guilty. That's what there can't be. You can't argue. Well, you can. You absolutely can if you're Trump. But you can't argue with the court. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can't argue with the court. And whatever decision, and Marvel have to respect that decision. And that's it. As far as I'm aware. So exactly the same view I have on Johnny Depp. Yes. That's a door that just dramatically closed as I said the words Johnny Depp there. Someone doesn't agree.
Out the door. Well, Jonathan Majors' court date has been announced. It's on August the 3rd, which, just double checking, I thought that was a little bit soon, but no, Loki season 2 starts on the 6th of October. So I think we've got Secret Invasion at the moment, and I think it's Ahsoka, Star Wars TV show, and then we get Loki, and then Echo.
Yeah. And then Echo, my belief, Echo is going to be binge, like they're going to release all episodes at the same time, whereas full Loki, we're getting that kind of one episode like we have with Secret Invasion.
Yeah. Echo is going to be a full drop, which I'm like, I'm not phased. Makes our jobs a lot easier trying to do a review of it.
Yeah, no, I'm quite happy. I think a nice mix between binge series and episode per week series is quite nice, actually. Spices up a bit.
Yeah, I feel like hand in hand, waiting week after week after week. But no, I think with another thing with Marvel, I think the only thing Marvel has at Comic-Con that, depending on the time frame, is probably a Deadpool 3 trailer and the announcement of Fantastic Four. Because everything else has been delayed, they've really got nothing else to show.
No. I mean, kind of. So it's quite interesting, and I'm sure me and Matt will expand more on a podcast in the future. But we recently asked listeners about kind of what they're excited for in the future of Marvel, and
Moon Knight.
Yeah, bring that back. But there was quite a lot of excitement for Fantastic Four, X-Men, Mutants, and I think the only thing that this whole Jonathan Majors, but also I think it started before then in regards to kind of quality versus quantity, and I think the multiverse, you could argue, has kind of already exhausted itself, and I don't think that's necessarily Marvel's fault. I just think that a lot of other sci-fi have also used the multiverse. There's been films about the multiverse that aren't connected to the MCU. Like, it's been a lot about the multiverse all of a sudden very quickly. And I feel like if we've got to go all the way to 2025, 2026, still in the multiverse, we could be a little bit, tired of it. So I think a lot of our listeners were quite excited about the fact that we're getting to Fantastic Four and X-Men territory, as am I, to be honest.
Yeah, right here. And damn right, again, Mr. Mark My Words, Moon Knight is right up there on one of the best Marvel TV shows, period. But yeah, you're right. Like, everyone's excited about the X-Men. Everyone's Fantastic Four, especially because I think because of the Fantastic Four films we've got in the past, especially after that the third one is rated nearly the worst, one of the worst comic book movies ever made. There's just so much hype to see a great, well, not great, but like a faithful representation of Marvel's first family in the MCU.
Yeah. I always thought that the old Fantastic Four films got a lot more stick than they should
the first
have.
one.
First one, I really enjoyed it. It was a night like, yeah. I kind of in the same like so before the podcast, me and Lee you were talking briefly about Transformers, and kind of how I enjoyed Transformers as like a kid growing up, and I was watching those films. It was a fun action led like film. It was interesting. It was cool. Sequels didn't quite hold up, but I think actually the Fantastic Four film wasn't half as bad as people say it was.
No, I think a lot of people, I think the second one hurt people a lot because of how they portrayed Galactus. Like they were saying, oh, we're going to show Galactus. We're going to put him in this film. Oh my God, we're going to see the World Eater. It's a cloud of dust. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. The cloud is going to eat the planet. Yeah. Oh, great. That Silver Surfer looked awesome, but no, Galactus is a cloud.
Yeah.
Probably the best one of the highlights of those first two films is they nailed Doctor Doom. The outfit, how much of a dick he was, like, and the rivalry between, like, smart rivalry, and that's not the right word, between him and Reed Richards.
Yeah. No, I thought, lots. They did lots well, and they did lots not so well. But I'm very intrigued. I just hope Marvel, like we talk about Galactus, kind of don't meddle with it too much. Just sit in the fact that it's a working formula as is. So let's just give us what we want rather than what you think we might want. Might be.
Yeah, that's right. Which I tell a lot of people is that Marvel has done a lot of faithful representations of characters, nearly picture perfect to the comic book characters, like Nick Fury, the first suit of Captain America, and his second, Iron Man. They've done that faithfully, so I'm sure they'll do Galactus justice as well. But he will not be the villain for the first movie. He's a phase of a villain.
Yeah. 100%.
And also moving on, like we also got apparently, speaking of still about, I was mentioning this earlier, apparently Ben Affleck has been seen on set for Deadpool 3, so he might be making an appearance as Daredevil.
Exciting. I kind of and that's not really in the spirit of us as podcasters, Lee, but for Deadpool 3, I don't know about you, but I want as little detail as possible until a trailer, just because I think there's going to be so many surprises in that film. So much we don't know about. No,
because I think the interview to the creator, Rob, I can't remember his last name, who created Deadpool, I think someone asked him, like, you excited for this new movie? And he's like, I've seen the cast list. You cannot, like, fathom who is on this listing. I'm like, shit. And I just hope, which I doubt it will, because Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, it's not going to be like Doctor Strange 2. Where, we're going to multiverse, we're going to go all these worlds and everything. Oh, cool. You only went to one, and everything else was a flashpoint. Like,
no, exactly. Yeah, I'm exactly of the same belief. I think there might be, I've got a feeling we might have a bit of Thanos, Lee.
Yeah.
I think we might travel into a universe where Thanos is still kicking.
Could be.
So yeah,
That makes sense, because it'd be like Deadpool would be like, the fuck happened to you, Cable?
Yeah, exactly. It'd be amazing. It'd be brilliant. So I'm hoping that happens. And also whether could there be question for you, Lee. Do you think that we might have a surprise X-Men film announced just prior to the release of Deadpool? Because will Wolverine meet the rest of his X-Men folk during the course of the film?
Shit. Yeah.
Because the slate is looking quite quiet, to be fair.
Well, now that they've really like spaced everything out, it could be. But then again, I this is the thing, is that Kevin Feige at heart is a fan. So I know he wouldn't walk into Comic-Con without something like tangible to be like, I can give you this. Yes, we're not all here, but this will tie you over. So if he can, here's the cast of Fantastic Four. By the way, here is the first X-Men movie. He could walk out, walk at 15 minutes in and out.
Yeah.
And it'll still be the best thing on show.
It'll be ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. If he just went, what, this little X-Men film? Oh, this little thing. Oh, what, coming out in 2 years' time and you didn't know about, and we've just been shooting alongside Deadpool 3. Oh, yeah. See you later.
Yeah, right. See ya.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
What a way to stop people worrying about Kang as well.
Yeah, that would take everyone's eyes off everything. Because surely the X-Men are going to be showing up in Secret Wars. It's not.
Gotta be,
sure.
Right?
Gotta
be.
Right?
Right.
But you know who's not going to show up in Secret Wars, which I don't hope that it ever does, is Kraven the Hunter.
Oh. Oh, God. Oh, God. Your thoughts on the trailer, mate?
I watched it, like I was saying to you before, like the Red Band trailer had a bit more of a kick to it, but at the same time, I'm not excited about anything about this. I'm like, this looks like Morbius all over it, and you got your powers from a lion dropping blood into you, and I'm like, cool, there's no Spider-Man. Spiders, but no Spider-Man. And again, it's something to do with your brother, similar like Morbius, and yay, Russell Crowe.
Woo, Russell Crowe.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's basically, and of course, I'm saying this, half jokingly because timelines aren't that quick and it doesn't happen. But it's almost like Insomniac, right? Talked to Sony about the new Spider-Man game, and they went, "Yeah, we're gonna have, we've got Kraven the Hunter in there, we're gonna, blah blah blah." And then Sony have gone, "Oh my God, that's an IP we haven't. Oh God, they're bringing Kraven in. Shit, we've not done anything with Kraven. Guys, yeah, can we make a film? No, Spider-Man's not gonna be in it. We can't do that. Let's get some spiders in it. Let's make it Kraven, yeah, because the game's coming out. People are going to be talking about Kraven. I can see the Twitter going, Kraven the Hunter, Kraven the Hunter. Let's get it mixed with the film. They brought a film out. It's utter shit.
Yeah, you summed it up perfectly.
That is basically what feels like it's happened at Sony.
Yep, and I bet you one of those tweets will be Kraven the Hunter in the video game superior to movie version.
Yep. Yeah.
That will be it. And the thing is, Aaron Taylor Johnson is a great actor. He was good in Bullet Train. It's just sad. People really liked him in Age of Ultron. He's obviously done other things since then, but also Kick-Ass. Nearly forgot that. But I feel it's just going to be at the end. You're going to watch and go, okay, put that in the pile. Doesn't lead to anything. I don't want to see another one.
Yeah, job all over. Yeah, either that or Tom Holland keeps talking about Spider-Man 4 recently, and is he admitting the fact that he's in Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah,
I mean that would be if Sony then went, oh yeah, by the way, this is the real trailer, and it's just literally starts off with Spider-Man. You'd be like,
best movie of the year.
Yeah, boom! I love Sony. I love films, mate.
Yeah, where's Morbius 2? Come on, no one's asking that. But Tom Holland, I feel bad for him a bit roughly because he brought out, I think it's a TV show. I could be wrong. Apparently, they got panned by critics.
Oh yes, yeah, I know about this.
It got really bad, and apparently he's taking a break from acting. But obviously, everyone's still asking about Spider-Man 4, and he's like, "We're in talks about it. I'm excited for it, but do we touch it? Like, I could quit right now, but I want Miles Morales." I'm like, dude, this is why one of the things I always think about. I'm like, if I were like you, like tell me if you were the perfect person for this. What would you do in his position? Would you make another Spider-Man, or would you prefer to be like Christian Bale and be like, we've done a solid trilogy, I don't want to harm it anymore?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I think they've got to. I think from Tom Holland needs to get rid of his agent. That's for sure. Because there was like a whole, I don't know if you saw it, Lee, but there was an image online, right, which compared Andrew Garfield's films around when he did The Amazing Spider-Man and the ratings for those films compared to Tom Holland and the films and TV series that he's done around the Spider-Man, and the fact that they're just crap. Like, so whoever is getting Tom other stuff, you're just not doing a good job whatsoever. Like, clearly piss poor projects.
Yeah.
But I do think that if Spider-Man 4 is bringing in Miles, I think actually it is time we have a new Spider-Man. I think if we're bringing in Miles Morales, we're just the trilogy wrap things up quite nice. I think at the end of it, like. Because all a Spider-Man 4 for Tom Holland would do is to go, we're reverting what happened at the end of Spider-Man 3 to make him have a happy conclusion. That'd be it, right?
Yeah.
That's all they'd be doing it for, is to go, because they'd have to reset it. Otherwise, all of these characters, I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, well, that's right. Like no one, I guess. No one on Earth knows, but we don't know 100% know if no one not on Earth knows that he's not who Spider-Man is.
Yeah, and maybe Deadpool's going to reset that. It might be a weird way for Spider-Man to be in it, but I can't really see Spider-Man being in that. I don't see. So I think no. For me, Tom, I think your time is over, mate. I think let's bring in some new Spider-Man blood and see where we go.
Would you want to see him? Would you want to see a Spider-Man 4, but it's passing a mantle to Miles, like meaning that we have Spider-Man 4, which is both Tom Holland and Miles, but if there's a Spider-Man 5, it's all Miles.
I think, I think I'd prefer a Miles trilogy, to be fairly. I think I prefer rather than a mantle, and I think the optics of that looks pretty shit as well. I think actually, if you've got a Miles, you've got a really strong black character in the MCU leading the first film, and then Spider-Man is a very much secondary character. That Spider-Man lives in this universe, but the focus is on Miles Morales. I think for me that's what the whole next trilogy should be. It needs to be a Miles, and then we've had more than a Spider-Man, and we can have standalone Spider-Man. Sony have got Spider-Man. We have Venom and Spider-Man somewhere else, and this isn't to say no more Spider-Man. I just think actually now's the time. Finally, we get proper Miles Morales. Outside of the animated Miles Morales.
Yeah. Which the stock in that cannot be any higher.
I still haven't seen the newest one.
What?
Man. I still haven't seen. I haven't managed to. What?
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Jesus.
I still not seen it, but I need to see it. It looks incredible.
It is a Spider-Man movie True and true. And it is you're going to love it. And even the fact that you're a bit worried that, it's a part 1, part 2, even at the ending, you're like, shit, I gotta wait 8 months. God.
Mm.
Was it Spider-Man of the Future, which I forgot his name, Oscar Isaac voices, stand out. Absolutely nails it. That man can do no wrong. So
I literally, I can't wait. And also, but I'm happy I did wait a little bit because apparently they had to fix the audio mix of the film. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw it before I went into the theater, but I didn't hear anything off because people said they couldn't hear some of the voices.
Yeah, apparently I think it's Gwen right at the start of the film.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of mix. So I don't know. If you didn't spot it, then maybe it wasn't. But yeah. So they've had to do a little bit of an audio mix with it. But it looks insane. I can't wait.
I love it. Did you see that apparently Gwen's story is respectfully to the community, apparently Gwen's story is about transgender or something, about coming out about.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I mean, typically the only way I know about that is to see Twitter going, "What the fuck you? What you bloody do with a series? I can't bloody believe you shoehorning transgender community into it." I'm like, all right, let's just.
And everybody, that is Twitter in a nutshell.
That is absolutely like if you go on Twitter, if it's not people going, "Oh, this is a duck feeding themselves in a park." How lovely. If that will be one side of Twitter and then the other side of Twitter is going, "Oh fucking hell, I can't bloody believe it's a female Spider-Man. I'm fucking outraged." So yeah, unbelievable. But yes, I have heard, but it's
Slight pause. Forrest, come back to me, boy. Come back to me.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Boom.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is, mate. I don't know why this keeps doing this. Is very bizarre.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
It's probably Twitter. It's the people at Twitter who are taking me off.
Because you mentioned, because you mentioned the bad word. In the front row. Hey, thanks for coming past. Another Aussie YouTuber. She's really good.
Hello.
But no, I'm glad you're all fixed. But yeah, Twitter's just like that. And but yeah, I saw all that about her story. I'm like, no, it's just her story about her character and Spider-Man's journey. I'm like, don't try and overlay it with crap.
Yeah. And I say likewise, it doesn't matter even if that comes to pass. What does that affect? Absolutely fuck all. That's just someone's story, and it's a nice way to bring that story in. So yeah, I don't get the up in arms all about it, but that there'll be the same section of community that would moan about anything in life. So
that's exactly right. But moving on a little bit as well, Kraven the Hunter is going to be shit. Apparently, Valkyrie is rumored to be in the Marvels movie coming out, which would be interesting. And did you hear about this little bit news? Is Tom Cruise is not happy with IMAX.
Tom Cruise is not happy with IMAX. Why is that?
Yeah. Apparently, Tom Cruise is not happy with IMAX is because when Oppenheimer drops, it's kicking Mission Impossible out of IMAX theaters.
Yes. Yeah. Oppenheimer exactly the same time as Mission Impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is not going down well with Mr. Cruise.
No. The CEO of IMAX said that, look, because Christopher Nolan has always been such a big supporter and he uses our cameras, we're going to put his movie in. But he's like, we hope that when the run of Oppenheimer is done, we'll put Mission Impossible back through. I'm like, well, it's true because like Christopher Nolan preaches IMAX, and to me, I feel like the more IMAX movie will be Oppenheimer. Like that's going to be the
100%.
experience.
100%, and this is why Cruise has virtually no legs to stand on. I mean, I get it. Visually, Mission Impossible will be incredible, but it's not IMAX in the same way that Oppenheimer is going to be by any standard.
No.
Talking about Oppenheimer, did you hear, Lee, how heavy the film roll is for the bigger version of Oppenheimer? So I think they're releasing two versions of it. I don't know the ins and outs because I'm not kind of like that, not that aware of the technology. But basically, Christopher Nolan's made a version which is like the raw, like so raw. When I say raw, clearly it's been edited, but it's a raw version. And literally, he's rolling that out to select films in America, and apparently, it weighs several kg. This like huge thing of film.
Holy shit.
You can only see it in like 20 cinemas in the whole of America or something. Like, yeah, that's what I want to fucking see. That sounds incredible.
I'd like to see it too. Well, the movie's gonna the madman apparently also set a bomb off. Do you hear about that? He apparently set off a real bomb to get the effects. I'm like, shit, like that's a bit much for going from flipping a semi-trailer in The Dark Knight to this.
Yeah, that's what I want to. I want to see it in 4D though. Could you imagine if your chair was rumbling? I'd be like,
it would just be the scene from Terminator 2 when she's holding the fence, and the bomb goes off, and she's just
so true.
Yeah, that's literally what Oppenheimer is going to be. Because it was funny. I actually saw someone's TikTok the other day. It's like Christopher Nolan complaining to someone like, we're gonna have the bomb go off. He's like, and the guy's like, I know. Well, what about Interstellar? See, that was all CGI. And Christopher Nolan's like, was it? Was that all CGI? Oh shit. But no, I can understand why Tom Cruise is pissed. I'm like, it's just shit timing.
Yeah,
mate. Like, yes, you're nearly 60. Yes, you want to kill yourself doing a stunt. Apparently, I did see that apparently the hardest stunt, which I'm pretty sure is when he goes off the cliff on the bike, they shot that first in case he died.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely obscene. It's the stunt that's in all of our film posters. So when I went and saw the Flash the other day, it's the stunt that they're selling on the cover of it.
Yeah. If I die, there was no film, so like this based on everything, like holy shit.
Absolutely mental. But I think it's going to be good though. I've got one of my friends now I can't work out, so he's a fight choreographer, but he also is an actor. So I can't work out if he did the fight choreography. Try saying that drunk. Or or acted in it. But he had a photo on Facebook the other day. A big shout out to you, Marcello, if you're listening. And he had on the screen it said cast and creatives film screening and of Mission Impossible, and he said it's fucking amazing. It's outrageous.
And it's a part one.
Part one. It's gonna and if you're releasing part one and part two of a film, it's got to be bold. It's got to be good.
Well, I'm really pumped to see it because he even Tom Cruise said apparently the way he went into this was we have to outdo Top Gun. I'm like, man, you're gonna die. Like you would not be happy until you die on the scene.
Yeah. It does feel like he wants to. Yeah, if his last scene on cinema isn't his body decapitated, then he doesn't want to know about it.
Yeah,
his head falls off, rolls off, ends up in a Deadpool film. That's it. Job done.
Exactly right. I mean, pop up as Iron Man.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds just kicks his head on the floor and goes, they were good days.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. But in saying that, we also got in the past week is that we did get our official trailer for One Piece. It's coming on Netflix. That's coming August the 31st. But you, sir, saw the Flash.
I saw the Flash. I saw the Flash.
You saw the Flash.
Oh.
Now, I did make an Instagram reel just recently that caused a little bit of debate on the Flash. What did you think of it? What did you think about this second last entry in the DCEU before Mr. James Gunn takes full over? And with Isla Miller, Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, Sasha, can't remember her last name. Supergirl.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought I thought it was paced really badly. The pacing is bad. So and also the story, the way they've edited it makes the story really unclear for about the first hour. For the first hour, I had no real concept of where this was going because I think you kind of follow him. Like there's the weird baby tower scene that happens at the start, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Then we get Batman. We don't actually get the kind of, there are two Flashes and there's a whole time thing for literally about 40 minutes, 40 minutes to an hour. It's a long time before we get in the crux of the film.
Yeah, which is really, when we're first introduced to that, he only gets punched. Like it's not even he just gets punched and he doesn't think twice. That's actually right too. He doesn't think twice that he gets punched out of the time sphere.
Yeah. He just gets punched out of something that he's brand new to, and he doesn't once set up any think of any questions about that. It's just no. He'll go straight back to the house.
Yeah. That's right. The house. I just won't register the fact this demon thing just jumped in the chronosphere and punched me right out of a time machine.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mum.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
And also, I have a real, and the problem, I don't know how much you want to say, Lee, because there's something that happens at the end that I have real issue with, which is for me a massive fuck up on the plot. Please,
spoilers.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
So at the end, right, and I may have not got this, but at the end, he goes back to the shop to right the wrongs that he did at the beginning of the film. Right, so he puts the tomatoes back on the shelf, and then what he does at the same time is he changes that shelf, puts the stuff at the top so that his dad can have an alibi. Right, he was at the shop. Right. However, we see that because the Flash looks at the camera. That's my issue. His son has just looked at the camera, which means that the court will have the material will have the footage of his son years ago as an adult, who was the same guy who was in the courtroom defending his father on film.
You're right. Actually, yeah. If they pull back the footage from about 20 minutes earlier, or was it? Yeah, or 3 hours earlier, he'll be there. Yeah.
And they would have done that because that's when we see his mum. So they would have traced the movements of his mum to go. Yeah. She was at the shop 3 hours before. Goes to the house. His dad followed. So they would have seen the son all those years ago as an adult and probably questioned how that happened.
I didn't think about that. So. I'm guessing it's one of those moments that you don't think too much about, even though everything else going on, you don't think much of.
I'm probably, I'm really fixating on one moment there, Lee. But and I'm probably, as a viewer, I need to, stretch.
It's our job. It's what we do.
That's it. But yeah, anyone give me the answer to that, because it's not like he's a tech specialist. Someone like Iron Man could get away with it because he could do it, and we would know that Tony Stark would be able to kind of redo that footage. Yeah, erase it.
Yeah, I was never there. Yeah,
but that's not what the Flash is about.
No, but did you hear about the 3 different endings?
No.
So there's 3 different endings for this movie. The first ending, which I really do hope will be deleted scenes on the DVD. The first ending is actually Supergirl and Michael Keaton coming out of the car at the end. That Michael Keaton is the Batman now, and Supergirl is. Apparently, there's also another ending where Superman, Henry Cavill, and Wonder Woman and Michael Keaton rock up.
Well,
and then there's the ending that we got.
Yeah, and I think the ending that we got makes the most sense, Lee, because makes the most sense because of what's happened with Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
and what's happened with James Gunn. So clearly, there's we're not. This is it now. We're going to get James Gunn's vision moving forward. Let's forget that ever happened. And also, Ezra Miller didn't do himself any favors, and therefore won't be. Can't imagine he'll be involved in any element moving forward. No. So this was the only ending in my mind they could go for, which didn't inadvertently set up another film.
Yeah, that's right. Which the director did say, if the numbers box offices do really well, we could do a sequel. It's lower than Black Adam.
Yeah.
So I think the best way was what you said earlier was there is such thing as bad publicity is not good publicity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think this film has had so much bad publicity that it unfortunately was never going to be. And cinema is so expensive now as well, because it's not like it's being streamed at the same time. If it was going straight on Disney Plus or something like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, this will do really well. But cinema is expensive, so if a film's got bad publicity, people won't go and see it. Simple as.
No, but a family of 5 aren't going to pay the money to go see this film, and they're going to pick something like Elemental, the Pixar's Elemental that's out right now, or they're going to pick a film they trust, or go back and watch Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, exactly that.
They're going to pay for the Flash, which it's. I think also the fact that everyone knew going in that this movie is the reset. Again, it's like, why? What's the point watching it when nothing means forward? Which I did see someone mention. I was like, this is the end of DCU. I'm like, wow, everyone's just kind of forgotten about Aquaman. Like, that's coming out end of this year.
Yeah, and talking about films that are bombing, unfortunately, that will bomb.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're still. I don't know why they're still going along with it. Just like, fortunately, that is not going to do well at all.
I don't think it's going to make $1 billion like the first one did, because it's meant to be like kind of like a buddy cop movie. Like he's going to get his brother out of jail to help him go fight the villain. I'm like, it's
also didn't they have to recast what's her name because of the whole Johnny Depp thing?
She's still in it, but I heard 2 rumors. One, that apparently her scenes got cut down for the movie, and the second thing I heard is that her role in the movie was already nothing major.
Okay.
So her role was already cut down to existing to the point where you don't need to cut her out.
Yeah, so I think because again, just like the Flash, that's had bad publicity. Not so much now, but certainly during that whole thing with Johnny Depp, that was shit pile of bad publicity about Aquaman. So you've got that again, and you also got the fact it's so close to James Gunn rebooting it all. So what the point?
I know. Well, because we're getting the Blue Beetle, which apparently is the first DC film, and then we get the first DC film, and then we get Aquaman, which is part of the old DC, but still doesn't count. But don't worry, after that we get Superman Legacy, which is part of the new DCU, and everything's gonna be all right. I mean,
I can't.
Yeah.
I've done it again, Lee.
yeah, I know. You did.
Oh God. What am I doing?
But yeah, the Flash is going to be that little thing that you're going to look back on, going, well, A, Isla Miller, B, the ending of the DCU, and probably 5 years too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was originally meant to come out after Justice League,
Yeah.
so probably too late. But let's move on to something that hasn't been delayed. It's delayed a little bit, but nothing too bad. Marvel's Secret Invasion, Episode 1, The Resurrection. This is the very first DC... shoot me in the back. Shoot me. Gross. I know. End this video. Sorry. First Marvel MCU TV show to start the year off. And first, will you do us the honors, because you do this for every single episode of one of your shows?
Of course, mate. No problem at all. Here we go. Fury and Talos try to stop the Skrulls who have infiltrated the highest spheres of the Marvel Universe.
Ooh, chills.
Oh. It's
Right down the
Secret
spine.
Invasion. Here we go. Oh.
Here we are, at which I was actually looking at. This first got announced back in December 2020.
Mad. Absolutely mad.
That's when it first got announced, this show, which Samuel L. Jackson's back as Nick Fury. Maria Hill is Kobe Sanders is back as Maria Hill. We got Rhodey is back. Ross is back. We're going to see the Skrulls that we haven't seen since the ending of Spider-Man Far From Home and Captain Marvel. I think that's the last two times we've seen the Skrulls. And what... Again, this is big. Marvel has not disappointed in the very first episode of their TV show of the year. WandaVision episode 1 was a killer. Moon Knight episode 1 was a killer. And this episode still keeps in with that trend.
Oh, it is absolutely insanely good. It's... I don't know about you, Lee, but every minute of so it's a 1 hour episode. Every minute of that 1 hour, just absolutely, enjoyable. The pacing was right. There was something brand new, fresh every single 5 minutes. Something added, like a new layer. Oh, gorgeous cinema, pure cinema, mate.
100%. And this is I feel bad because Marvel hasn't really lost their touch, but it's back to form. Like, this feels like Winter Soldier. This feels gritty. This is nothing flashy, no supernatural story, nothing weird. This is like a spy thriller. Yeah.
100%. Got its own identity for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Born identity for Marvel, which at the very start of this, so this is only 6 episodes long. And Kevin Feige, K-Dog has apparently said this will be a massive crossover event moving forward into Marvel. So this will be a big game changer, and what these 6 episodes are going to be. But at the very start, we see Nick Fury looks at the first time he's been on Earth since Far From Home, or before Far From Home.
Yeah. So this first real time since the Avengers. So we see the blip. Yeah, see blip. Yeah, and the first real time we've seen Nick for a long time. It's all what's quite nice is they've set up really well in this episode is about the fact that the blip really changed Nick Fury.
PTSD,
PTSD, and also whilst he's been whilst he's been gone, what has he been doing? So we know slightly. We get told a little bit about what he's been working on. We don't really have a full picture. We know about Saber, don't we?
Yeah,
Saber, yeah.
Earth defenses, Earth space defenses.
Yeah. So it's referred to as the greatest aerospace defense system in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
So it's all about kind of Nick Fury's reaction to Thanos, basically. But we apart from that, we don't know.
Suit of armor around the world. Does that sound familiar?
Little bit.
Which now he's limping, no eye patch. He looks so much beaten up compared to the last time we saw him. Because last time we saw him, he was on that space station relaxing. He was like on a beach or something.
Yes. Yeah. It's so wild. We have so many different things.
Yeah.
And because I'm doing this chronologically for our podcast, I find it really hard to remember which was the last time. Because the last time I actually saw Nick Fury was when we did the Captain Marvel. So that's the last time we've we've done past then, haven't we?
Yeah, past that.
We've done Endgame. Yeah, of course we have.
Yeah. So you were doing Far From Home.
That was it. Well, we haven't got Far From Home yet, have we?
No, Far From Home was after Endgame.
Yes, it was. Well,
I loved your eyes.
My mind is so confused. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
But no, loads going on.
But no, that's all. And we technically get Ross. We technically get him at the very start, which isn't Ross, which we haven't seen him since Wakanda Forever. Which he's talking to a CIA agent that is paranoid about the Skrulls. Apparently, they're invading Earth. Not invading Earth. They're plotting against Earth to take it over. Which we do get a fight scene. Which then we find out Ross is a Skrull, and we get introduced to Talos. We get to see him for the first time. Yeah,
he's back.
He's
in
back
a new skin, though, right?
No,
well, we see human form. He's back in the human form.
Yeah, he's human form, which we find out his wife died.
Yeah. So it's not all been good, has it? Really?
No.
Poor little Talos. It was really interesting. I thought at this point the subject matter I thought was quite interesting. So obviously at this point it's set in Moscow. And it's all about kind of the Skrulls are creating terrorist attacks to kind of offset different countries against each other, so pit countries against each other, and basically causing their own anarchy, right? They're causing, they're invading, causing anarchy. And I did a little bit of research, Lee, because when they were talking, it kind of, I thought, oh wow, it's quite bold to bring in Russia, especially everything that's going on right now with Russia. And after I did a little bit of research, so apparently, and I don't know how true this is, apparently, so in the Secret Invasion now, it's I can't remember what they call it. It's like the American thing that is against Russia. It's like AAR or something they call it. Do you remember?
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. Yeah.
They've got like an acronym that they use, which is and it's a group that is it's about America and Russia. Well, apparently, initially it was all going to be Gravik was going to be Ukrainian, and it was going to be Ukraine and Russia, which makes sense because they're neighbors. But because of real world events, quite clearly, they had to go back and re-edit that. So it became America and Russia, But I thought even so, keeping Russia involved. Well, they had to, I suppose, but
yeah. Which, when I was watching it, I did think it's like when they mentioned Russia, I was like, okay, that's all right, a bit touchy, but at the same time, I'm like, it makes sense in the plot of where they're hiding. Like it couldn't really be another country.
No, and it's got to reflect it's got to link in, because also the title cards that they use for Moscow present day, they're using the same title cards as Captain America. And
yes, they are.
Captain America is a whole thing about Russia, and so I think they kind of had to, in the wider context, keep it in Moscow. But even so, very, very quite interesting. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
No.
Keep us going, mate. Keep us going.
No. You're right. One of the things I do love, which I didn't even think about this movie going into this show, is the premise that the Skrulls are pissed because Nick Fury failed them, finding them a home world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know about you, and I don't know if they're going to, but I feel like this is an odd thing that they've done, which is we've had Captain Marvel has basically set up all of this. That's how we've got the origin story of Skrulls and blah blah blah. But I feel like they've jumped ahead so much that actually I could do with a Captain Marvel 2, which kind of filled in a little bit more about that, and had maybe the white Talos's wife dying, blah blah blah.
Oh, so kind of lead up to, look, there's a disposition between the two. Something's not happening. Something could happen. So Captain Marvel 2 should have been coming out before Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot in this episode, and I think maybe the whole series I'm sure we'll go back and there'll be lots of. But I felt like there was a lot of this episode required you to do a lot of backtracking in your own time. It required you as a Marvel watcher to remember everything that had happened. And I didn't really feel like if I hadn't watched Marvel but I was interested in this series, I'd find this first episode very difficult to understand what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, you'd be like, who are these aliens? How long have they been on Earth for?
Exactly. And I feel, and that's the only thing I get a little bit annoyed with Marvel about, because actually there's going to come a time where you've completely ignored a mass market for your and we've got to we need to stop doing that. So even if the first 5 minutes of this episode would have been like this story of the Skrulls, like let's go back, I wouldn't have minded that. It would have gave me some more context.
Quick recap.
Yeah, quick recap
of how Nick Fury got here with the Skrulls and everything, and then right at the end be like, and now.
Yeah. And here we go. Because they did it with the blip. They showed us a blip footage for Nick Fury. So they're not worried about going back and showing you old footage. So they're fine.
No, I agree. I think that could have helped a lot, because this could arguably be something more of a sequel compared to the recent content we've gotten. This is more of a sequel to the main narrative. Compared to everything else. Like don't get me wrong, end of last year we got the Guardians Galaxy special, which is off planet, so still doesn't count. And then we got She-Hulk, which she was kind of in her own bubble, really. But this feels like more of a sequel to narrative. But real quick, just step back. What did you think of the opening? That is causing so much drama.
Is it?
The opening credits. Have you heard this?
No.
So apparently people are really getting annoyed that the opening credits is made by AI.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do people not have anything more to moan about?
I know. They don't. And
what's the problem with that?
I don't know. Because they're like, it's taking someone's job. Which apparently the artists of the actual opening have come forward and said, this is partially made with AI. We thought, well, with it being Secret Invasion, aliens,
Brilliant.
artificial,
Yeah.
it would fit in perfectly. Which funny when I was captivated by the intro. I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I suppose in that sense, actually, if you look at the whole writer's strike going on, then similarly, you could go, all right, actually, I can understand the AI argument, but I think it's titles. It's not. If you'd have told me half the episode was AI, then I'd be a bit like, okay, right, that seems excessive. A title card, I'm sure that's just a time. Time is of the essence, and they can loosely wrap it around the story as well, like they have done. But yeah, I think what will come out of this writer's strike, I hope, is a kind of parameter for AI. So how and when it can be used in film and TV, and when we need to be using, actual people for stuff. That's what I do hope comes out of this.
And I 100% agree. I think it does. I think it's one of those things where the technology has sped up so fast that now we're at the point where people are like, oh, well, now we need to regulate it. It's gone too quick.
Yeah.
But well, going back to the show, we get Nick Fury catching up with Talos, which they do the nice like head bonding thing. And interesting enough that they got a plant growing on Earth from the Skrull home world, which I thought was kind of cool. But we see that Maria Hill, she's a bit annoyed that Nick Fury went MIA.
Yeah, she's taken it very, very much to heart. Poor Maria. Yeah. Maria has not dealt with it well.
No, which I guess, if my best friend went off planet, didn't call, didn't say anything, and there's no government body, there's no shield, there's none of that. I guess I'd be a bit annoyed as well.
She's got to know that he's making Saber, though, right?
Yeah. So I don't think she mentions that.
No, she doesn't mean, because surely you'd be like, well, is there a sneaky little job for number 2, little old Maria Hill, please, Nikki Fury?
Yeah.
She's not setting that up well, is she? Where the fuck are you been? I can't believe you come down here in your little bloody spaceship thing, and then you're not going to get yourself a job this way, Maria, are you?
No, she doesn't. But you're right. Like, where have you been?
Jesus Christ, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Madness.
God. Yeah. And then we also get introduced to Garrick, which is our new bad guy, an evil Skrull who wants to for the Skrulls to take over Earth.
Yeah. Yes. And it's so far so good. We haven't seen much of him in this episode.
No, he was a bit lewd too in this episode towards the end. And not to mention Emilia Clarke as... how do you pronounce her name?
Gaia?
Yeah, Gaia.
Yeah. Really, I really liked Emilia Clarke in this.
I did. I totally forgot that Talos has a kid. I was like, that's right. He saved his wife and daughter from... That's right. You have a child.
Yeah. So, I really, really liked Emilia Clarke as Gaia in this. We see Gaia is kind of... I don't think we're aware of where, like, correct me if I'm wrong, like how low she is on the chain compared to Gravik. She's a number 1, or is she like a bit further down than that? I don't think we know really.
I think she's like a 2 or 3, because the other dude was giving her orders.
Yes.
So she could be like a 3 or 4.
Yeah. So we're not quite sure on the pecking order. But it was quite, that was really interesting. And I love what's the mind place in New Skrullus? They've got like a mind, the mind thing.
The mind.
We've seen in Captain Marvel actually.
Yeah, that's we did too. She was upside down, and they were scrolling through her memories. Totally missed that. See, this is why I got you on the show. This is because I need a man like you.
Stop it, Lee. I can't even remember where Spider-Man comes in the phase, mate. So don't go to me.
Don't give me too much credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because that's how they went to the memories. I thought that was cool. They're taking people's forms and they're setting up to that machine, so they know where they're. Because new Skrullos.
New Skrullos.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that name.
Woohoo!
So original.
Yeah.
So that's they're taking over, and we also get introduced to Sonya, an old friend of Nick Fury, which she try to remember her name,
Olivia Colman.
Yes, apparently she is been trying to get in the MCU for a while now. So
Has she?
Chopping at the bit.
Oh, I thought she was good, but I think we've got a lot more to come for Sonya. I felt like there is a very small, teeny weeny bit in this episode, and that's what I'll tell you what, Lee. That's what I really enjoyed about this episode was that for me, this episode felt like a series. There's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of new questions. There is a real reason for me to wait until Wednesday and watch the next episode.
Yeah,
I really want to know more about this world.
Yeah, which the ending, which we'll get to, set that up really well. Which is the same thing with Wanda. At the end of the first episode of Wanda, you're like, "What the hell?" And then even with Moon Knight, you're like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah, really good. Unlike She-Hulk.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll tune in next week and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm only here for Daredevil.
Oh, is he in next week's? No.
No.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Oh, she's sleeping with someone new. Oh, lovely.
Which she does in the comics. Like she does.
Yeah,
I think she's got like Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Johnny Storm.
Could you imagine if they'd have put that amount of budget in it just to have Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch comes in and sleeps with her and then leaves and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Cracking. What an episode.
Yeah, as long as you haven't got any apples, I'll be right there, babe.
Oh, what a world. What a world. But no, instead of that, we've got loads to look forward to in episode 2 of Secret Invasion.
We do. It's a lot of questions, a lot more questions than there were answered. You get to see that Emilia Clarke's her character is definitely like hard between her father and her people, which that's what I mean is like what the Skrulls are doing. I'm like, yeah, I'd be pissed too if someone told me 30 years ago, I'll find you a planet, and then semi-disappeared.
Yeah.
And they would have gone through the blip too.
Yeah.
They would have experienced it.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And what happened to Nick? That's that's the thing. When are we going to find that out? Is that over the course of this series, or are we getting someone separate for that?
Surely, yeah. We would have to, because it seems like something happened or something really shook him when he came back. Because all we see after the blip is he's standing on Tony Stark's porch. And then that's it.
Done.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That, and then he was relaxing in the space station. So something's happened between him relaxing on the space station to what we see here. And I guess we'll eventually see where Ross is, wherever Ross may be. But getting to the end fight scene, I love the whole spy of trying to find the bombs, who's got them. They were tagged. Sorry, I forgot to mention. I did like how Talos got his ass semi-kicked, and he's like, "No, this one's mine. Don't interrupt."
Yeah. That whole little dynamic was great. But But yeah, no, we get the Unity Day, don't we? The Unity Day bombings,
Yeah.
which kind of remind like the way they filmed it. Do you remember? I don't know the name. There was a film years ago, but with Forrest Whitaker, and it was like different viewpoints of the same accident. I think.
Yeah.
Let me have a quick. You keep entertaining me whilst
I know. Well,
seamlessly look up what this film, is called.
What this is? Yeah, no, I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I did like the back and forth and the semi of like who's who. And as this scene progresses, we see Nick kind of goes AWOL in this seamlessly nice CGI of the character swapping. The scroll changing, which I thought was so cool every time he went past something. Like he knows, like Garrick knows that Nick Fury is like, you're a has-been. I'm playing with you. I know who you are.
Yeah, and we get like kind of, we're not quite sure, but it's kind of alluded that has Gaia gone behind Talos's back and told Gravik? Because we don't really know, do we?
No, because when they found the bags, they were all empty.
Yeah.
So did Garrick
already know, or is there someone else working on behalf of that, or Vantage Point? That's what the film's called. Vantage Point. And that had the exact same. So it reminded me of Vantage Point. It also reminded me of the second Dark Knight film, where that might even be a Unity Day, where there's like snipers everywhere.
Yes.
It gives me that. I love like a big square, where, and there's loads of people and it's an event. I love stuff like that because it offers so much opportunity for cameras in different places and different ways of seeing what's going on. It's great.
And you're just there like wondering where's the shot going to come from, which is so left field when these bombs go off because it's nowhere near these people who have the bags.
No.
It's almost like a secondary bomb, which we get an original Avenger death, which caught me off guard.
We do.
Like, shit.
Or do we, Lee? Or do we, Lee? Do we really?
She didn't change.
She didn't change, no. So we're talking about Maria Hill.
Yes, spoilers.
Shot.
She cracks it.
Big fat spoiler. She gets shot. But having looked online, there is a comic where she is like this exact like shot for shot scene happens, but she is still alive. I think she's like wearing like something underneath that saves saves her.
So like what happened with Nick in Captain America 2.
Exactly.
So
you'd hope they're not going to replicate that now they've done that, but who knows?
No, I hope she doesn't come back. I feel like her death. Yes, this sets the precedent of Nick. She died because you're not able, and this is a very real threat. Like this is a villain that's going to kill like Namor. I still think the fact that Namor slaughtered half of the Wakandians and that really powerful line that's like, was it bury your dead, mourn your losses, I'm out. Fishman.
Yeah. I and also because Gravik kind of takes on Nick Fury's look. And that bit where he's like laughing after he shoots. After like Maria, and it's like proper like how Samuel Jackson did that with his face because you like the way that it's done looks like it's not his face, but it is him doing it. It's very bizarre. It's like a mechanical like laughing smile. It's very weird. It's done to perfection. That looks brilliant.
That was creepy. Actually, this scene made me really think of Logan.
Yeah.
When Charles is looking at Logan is like, why'd you do it? And he's like, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Big time.
Because Because she even says, like, you shot me, and he's like, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if she's dead. I think we're going to have a bit more of Maria, just because they set her up so much in this episode.
Yeah.
For more of a backstory with Nick. I feel like she knows more about Nick's last few years, than and she'll give that information. I don't know. I get a feeling. She'll be back. I might be wrong.
Oh no! Well, look, it was 90% of nearly any character that has died in the MCU has come back.
Yeah.
So you're not off.
No, it's chances are she will. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Even if she don't come back in this series, she'll pop up in something completely weird. She'll arrive from a multiverse and then come back.
Yeah. Right, plot twist. She comes right from the multiverse. She always led S.H.I.E.L.D. And Thanos never happened because she was. Yeah.
Amazing work.
But yeah, could be. And that literally, she gets shot, and Talos is saying, like, we have to go, and that's how the episode ends. Like, there's still so much chaos going on, and then boom.
Over. No mid-credit scene. No end credit scene. Straight to credits, straight to the end of the program.
Yeah. I texted my mates after. I was like, holy shit, did you watch this?
It's probably the best opening episode of like a series I've seen for a while now. It's brilliant. It was really well done. It's got its own identity, which is really strong, spy thriller-esque, brilliant. Nick Fury coming back rougher than ever is great look, and I'm really intrigued in that backstory. I'm looking forward to all of it.
Well, I guess something towards the end does happen to him where he does get back on the horse, because like the poster, you see him, he's eventually got the eye patch back at one point, and he's got the scruffy beard. So I'm guessing something must happen halfway through where he's like, nah, I need to really get back in the saddle and do this. Because that's the thing leading into this is anyone can be a Skrull. Anyone could be the villain. So even if they defeat the Skrulls, there is no 100% guarantee they're gone from Earth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And, but will they come across technology which enables them to know that? Don't know what that would look like, but
true. Because
could that be what Saber has? Maybe has Saber got a function that Nick Fury knows about that allows him to tell, Skrull presence on Earth?
Maybe, because like it's in the comics, it's pretty sure it's super Skrulls that can copy their people's powers, and that's where it gets a little bit more dicey. I know. I know, which I'm pretty sure we have seen Saber because we did see it in the opening shot in the Marvels trailer.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's don't really have to think about, well, what does Saber look like?
Ooh, tease it for me. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Thanks, Marvel.
Yeah. There's so much. It's so rich. There's so many things we don't know, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, here's a little theory. Do you think this will, when the show ends, this will be better than Loki? I feel like this would be better than Echo. No offense, Echo. Like, that does have its own merits because that's going to have Daredevil, Kingpin, all through that. But will this be the Disney Plus show of the year compared to Loki?
I think it will. In Loki, there are 2 or 3 episodes that, if it wasn't for Tom Hiddleston being in it, they would be incredibly weak. There's a whole episode with Loki and Sylvie, which for me was the most boring car crash I've ever seen.
Was that trying to get off the planet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just absolute bollocks. Like, just a filler episode. Whereas I've got a feeling with this, every episode is going to be worthy. There's only 6 episodes, lots of questions, lots of stuff to fill in. I think this is going to be the best series so far in MCU, 100%.
I agree with you. I feel like this is going to have a lot more weight to it compared to Loki. I think because Loki, because it's set, it won't have any. Again, it will only be like half any real world impact. But this is going to be shaping the MCU forward.
Yeah, 100%.
But no, look. Thank you very much for coming on the show and talking about Secret Invasion and The Flash and a wonderful shitty start to this episode. Thank God you were here.
Yeah, I know. Could you imagine if I wasn't? You could have had a full half an hour there, mate. That would have been. You could still be going.
Yeah, exactly right. If no one came past, I would have still been.
I enjoyed Lee's face for an hour and a half, but
I know I would have to go back and add my audio until it would have looked even worse.
But thank you so much for inviting me on, man. It's been an absolute blast. Enjoyed every second of it.
Thank you, man. And I can't wait to have both yourself and Matt back on the show. And again, anyone, go listen to their podcast, subscribe to them, check them out. The sky's the limit because you guys, again, you're nailing it. So I can't wait until we do Deadpool 3. And I will be coming to go listen to your Eternals.
Can't wait. Yeah, Eternals coming out. Won't be this Wednesday. It'll be the following Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday of July. But yeah, I can definitely wait for that. Can't wait for everything else. I can't wait for Deadpool 3. That would be insane.
It's going to be great. Well, everyone, thank you very much for everyone tuning in for this episode. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.